Abusiananu na NPP for your National Delegates Conference.
Today marks the beginning of our quest, of our journey of recapturing power in 2028.
Everything Bibia Kwasuye, nothing bad to report, everything was good.
The message is clear. NDC is a failure.
Or was it? Let's talk about it.
This is the NPP from opposition forever, and I say,
now we at this NPP Delegates Conference, and no more this year penny for to talk about Nsembia air course within their party, and no more be some to swap bar, their steps going forward.
This conference is part of our rebuilding processes, and this is the beginning of getting into building the party, putting it together, and getting ready for election 2028.
This conference, on Legon Sports Stadium, where Nipa, I think about 6,000 to 7,000, even could be more. And they show up, but you say a man for more delegates, and as a more like a pass, and on bet me a room, not just any party member.
No accreditation, no entry, and then we are going to adhere to this strictly. So far, so good.
Going in, no, more about 300 motions, and no more to swap. But out of that 300 motions, I'm compressing it down to about 56 because some of the motions, they similar, kind of the same, but maybe little variations here and there. The matana see chim mu amansuoni in a frame no omunya maku 56 and then some to swap.
56 out of over 300 proposals. How tedious was it?
It took over about 3 months to consolidate the about 300 proposals and engage various stakeholders and be able to bring them to a certain number. You can get about 20 proposals on one matter. You have to consult and see how to convert those 20 proposals into one motion. So the 56 you see is an amalgamation of the over 300 proposals.
Out of the various 56 motions, the delegates except 2. One was the age limit for Obia classified as a youth within the NPP party. Agyapong youth, it's capped at 35 years old. But the party right now, they were 40. So they were voting on it to bring it back to 35. And then people were like, not gonna happen this time around.
My chairman, the age limit for youth per all the international conventions and national laws shows that the highest age limit is 35. The UN puts the age bracket between 15 and 24 years, the WHO between 15 and 29, UNICEF between 15 and 24, the ILO between 15 and 24, the African Youth Charter between 15 and 35. In Ghana, the National Youth Authority Act, Act 939, defines a youth as a person between 15 and 35.
So Abusia go we actually vote against it.
Those in favor of motion number 54, say aye. Those against, say no.
And then the second thing was super delegates.
Special delegates reference.
Okay. Sir, we got
5.
Time I know we NPP am flag bearership no. Na candidates in the door so. Tina yes so mote so deba 5. A man for a two sabano to bring that 13 or 9 or whatever to 5 no. Those were the super delegates. What I say. And they voted against that super delegates. And they say there is no super delegates. In case there's almost selecting whoever the flag bearership race and a man for a bayer, then all the delegates they show up, they are going to vote on it once. So there won't be a dedicated super delegates vote and then other delegates vote. So, at least that to me also makes sense because it simplifies stuff and then it gives the party in penny binom to actually select people that they are qualified enough to be, their flag bearer.
No person be too frank. I am so yes, Obia be Jina Binti. Obia. Sabi NPP party no. You are back with them. Your tradition, your ideology. The party be about him catch the Ujaf. Now, but there be a dream in Druso.
And then Justin from Poco there, he was talking about the fact. He said, Obi Asa Justiaman, he said, to be kind of the flag bearer right now, you should have like 5 million.
And you know me, Obi, Kawasam. Obi do a trouble at all. Obi just say Obi obe na just obe jina bia at least uncha 5 million
across board.
Yeah, because you should be able to raise funds, raise money for the campaign and stuff. So if there's a selector, you should be able to kind of, have 5 million, something like that. An idea will be bringing it up, but not idea plenty that year too.
To show, say,
we are Bema.
With my raising funds,
yeah.
For the party.
I think all the parties should consider something that will serve us.
If that becomes a reality, we already know that there are some people that will say they won't be joining. What they are saying?
Party, any baby to make a satisfaction member. A back contribution, see any
yeah. That will actually simplify things for the NPP, I won't lie.
But the other argument is that the Ministry Council, semi-qualified Ministry Council, is that the way to cut me off?
Politics and say no, we can't quite
Abuafu. That's it.
Various speeches from various people and it happened here with the conference and I say
on January 31st, 2026. The party shall hold its presidential primaries.
President Kufuor and Nanado were not there because they are not in Ghana currently, or they were not in Ghana during the time of the conference.
With the exception of former President Akufo-Addo and former President Kufuor, who are both not in the country, I am not aware of any elder who is not available for conference.
So, there were no videos from them. I think the President Nanado did speech, but nothing came from President Kufuor's camp. So, I'm going to old video of President Kufuor, earlier kind of meeting, and then played it because, it encompasses a dear normal person at least going forward. So, their values, not
taking them for granted. Because, as I said, the electoral history should show an electorate that can change this vote within 4 years, like we experienced from 2016 to 2020, and then from 2020 to 2020, knows what it's about.
But when everything was said and done, at the end of the conference, they said some of them, at least I've seen a couple of videos on which they say, Nkabomu are not here to move the party forward, forgo all the troubles, this was the conference, and they bet to bring it that. And after the conference, every problem within the NPP is kind of solved.
It is for good reasons that as a party, as we prepare for the 2028 elections, we need to quickly do away with all our internal elections.
NPP people in the millions and millions and millions. And the people that showed up were like maximum 8,000. And then you're talking about some problems in they are talking. So, if that is the case, good news for them.
Now, if you can see, the place is empty because we are expecting 5,000 delegates. They are coming from Anakazo in the eastern region, just around Ebri here. And then also UPSA. We have almost about 1,005 of our delegates also there. So I'm aware that they are on their way and security is also good.
But if you ask me, I'm no mathematician, but the mass ain't massing for me. Now, Abuja, it wasn't all magic and interesting stuff from Kwan. A little drama also ensued. Bawumia, 50 times how are seeing Babuja Kuta the Mustan and the Hunyanton? Very sad news. Chris Lloyd Abuja, Chamaya Bunitiati and the Quansi. Also, Bastana, he's in crutches, still on also the Hunyanton. You see? A lot of people saw that and they were like, okay, this is settings, move promas. Settings upon settings. Because again, with the Chris Lloyd there, the chairman was working. People can say adrenaline, but on anybody, if you're still feeling it, he's feeling it. It is what it is. Settings upon settings. One idea man for can was afterwards was the fact to say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, yeah, man, access to the inner circle, man, all the delegates present. Yeah, but the other candidates, Agyapong, Duchum, and then Brian Champo, they didn't get that access or that privilege. A man for say that idea is kind of NPP doing their own things again, trying to kind of push Bawumia to the people. and, disregarding the other people.
The optics for the day were skewed to favor Dr. Bawumia. He was the only person who was allowed to walk and receive cheers. The rest of them were not able to do this, and they felt that it was not fair.
But Abusia aside near Manfuanekan NPP for communications director said that wasn't the intent or the case. The case, then they say, within their party, the three most powerful leaders still alive. President Kufuor, President Nanado, and then after Nanado is the VP, which is Bawumia.
There were three former living leaders, if I may put it that way, who were given opportunity to speak. President Kufuor, President Akufo-Addo, former Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia.
In this Nanado, President Kufuor, the next person in line was Bawumia. That's the reason why man a chance to greet people and not really the fact they say try pushing Bawumia to the people.
The two were not available. He was available. And so he came on the stage, made a statement. If during his statement he had gotten into a campaign mode, all of us would have been upset and would have condemned it. I listened to his speech. He never did anything of a campaign nature. On his way back and on his way to the podium, he acknowledged cheers from delegates who were there. For anybody to suggest, therefore, that his rights as a former president should be curtailed, will be on tour.
So yeah, we see at least they'll put that conversation into rest. Can Agyapong call the changes in some movement in the coin? I have a feeling that that's going to be kind of his slogan, and he's not even talking about the change of government from NDC to NPP. The change of who is going to be their flag bearer, because the mindset right now is Bawumia, and he has the deep feelings about Bawumia, and he's the person for the people. So definitely, it should be him, and then change needs to happen. Let's wait and see. But interesting twist where Agyapong the NZ was your time and read the stadium horror. Yeah, Buziani entrance was a little bit difficult. Obi, I'll give you 4 million 1 day prior to the event. I was just say, Chama, your money space in poor people. Already, young coupon, but I will say, you're normal. I really felt like I said, Gomunya, different entrance for party powerful people, because they are leaders of the party. But again, Agyapong, me as well said that moment, I think it's already regretted the 4 million. Hey, Bianca, but I say, send an go to 1.5. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And a little fight, so we say, it's definitely what it was going to happen.
We've also seen the Honorable
Abanga versus Abanga. One of them who is there said, and you're correct.
We don't share the same ideology. He's an NDC, I'm an MPP. Nothing NDC that I'll support. Same way, nothing MPP that he will support. And for that matter, the chemistry is something which is there.
The Abanga now, kind of say current attorney general or investigating for Galamsey issues war NDC Ninya baako so the Abanga no so NPP. So quite say Jinapomo type on baako NDC baako NPP. Whatever party comes to office, the family is good. And then this time around, they interviewed the Abanga from NPP. Shen sama oka about Ninu say chairman. So Tenasipa now Suyan San more because regardless of party position, it shouldn't be there. They are investigating him and probably kind of jail term because it's Galamsey. I know the NDC in the upper was definitely not going to happen with a jail term, but still. He was talking about Ninuya, twin brother. Shadi this I'm saying, Chama, we are correct here. Near politics, be more against Wawunia. Wow, twin brother ye. Nah.
Days ago, we saw the Yoko, the AG asking the Yoko to investigate him. What did you think about it?
To me, as an MPP, I'm happy. I want more news that I'll be able to get a message to tell Ghanaians. But Mama promised us he's going to fight Galamsey. And Galamsey was going to be the thing of the past.
But do you believe your brother is part of the Galamsey? He's been doing Galamsey.
I can't defend any NDC person. Any NDC person is capable of doing anything. But to me, I've never seen him doing it Galamsey.
Against the state, I get the fact to say, you want justice to happen. But say, regardless, I want to say, okay, but still, because of politics, abanga to me and show abanga things. It is what it is.
The chemistry between you and your brother, how are you guys like?
But I can even blame him for losing my seat in our win. I won. Yes, he was behind. He came to campaign against me.
Nana B, ni NPP for almost you blue army. Yeah, I'm out for definitely. I'm much your man in the party, no. Obi chere na bi zo nyanto boase kakra no ne ne chama yin kasa de na bi adwa.
Look at how you're talking to me.
I was there is not much to that footage. I really would have loved to see but be at that conversation in the end there. But clearly Nana B wasn't happy.
Look at how you're talking to me.
At some point, Bawumia photographers start twins. Yabuzia twins don't beg, if I'm not mistaken. Abuzia mukromu fili at the end kakra.
Some scaffold ongoing here. A photographer has been hit in the face, just by way of creating some space for
a whole lot of people showed up. Even KT Hammond, Mr. Coconut Head, or no crano.
Show me second in Agyapong or flag bearer. Ye na atenka. Sanka one per flag bearer. Now what we say if you a duodun nine can so the fear duodun nine MP. Nasne obi adim ni di okromu say.
Chama Wontumi ba Abuja wajini NPP Jalabia. Minim sana kaso kofre nyami ohoze deo. But it is what it is.
It's not me. When the people spoke. Okay, whom am I? I'm the NPP Nibio. I am Munti, and I'm a national chairman.
One thing I have to know, I said the whole conference was NPP for going to talk to their fellow NPP for on no amount mobile bears and at least they will regain power in 2028. What that conference and I say NPP for talking to NPP for. They invited NDC for to come and talk. I'm like, what is this?
Ghana is going through a reset process. It is very important that we as political parties reset our ideas, policies, and programs. That is why we are happy that the biggest opposition party in our country is doing exactly that, to reset and play their role with constructive criticism to support the nation builder John Mahama to rebuild the Ghana we all want.
What are you guys doing? I don't say you are into democracy and everything, but this is a chance to talk to your people directly. Why would you give NDC for a chance to come and talk? Maybe that is how it's done, but it doesn't make any sense to me.
God bless our democracy and God bless us all.
And also, most of the people like aside, at some point they turn the conversation to NDC.
President Mahama, Ghanaians are also asking, what is the position of the NDC on the LGBTQ bill?
And I'm like, you are there to find ways to kind of move your party ahead, but kind of you are being sidetracked. What is that English? You can't say sidetracked. Abuja, NDC for try to my attention in a way without even being in the room, kind of. The conversation shouldn't have been about NDC in any way. Disregard them to send an Apple, disregard the Samsung, any other phone manufacturer. Do that. But if Bawumia NDC are saying,
let us rather focus on the attempt by the NDC to undermine our democracy and rule of law in trying to remove the Chief Justice.
Just all of them. And I'm like, come on.
Mahama's government is taking propaganda credit, reaping where it has not sown when they talk about resetting, where it is the so-called 24-hour economy.
the gold board or anything else. They are simply rebranding our achievements and marketing them as their own.
So Abusian, that is a little wrap up of how their conference so one catch up during the time now. Now you are all caught up.
We've witnessed a very disturbing development, intimidation of our party members, and a dangerous trend of persecution of our leaders and supporters. These attacks are not random. They are strategic attempts to weaken us, but they will fail. They will fail.
Abuja, in the middle of Aboswakan, opposite Methodist Basic School, I want to be Vineyard Auto Plus Company Limited. Very simple. Omoton car spare parts. Nazobi a brand new car. Ubiti menye bi amano.
Obi a brand new car from US. Menye bi dia amano.
Oshe mechia. Se see na container ba kwa ba omo yimu no manyi na egu fam. No amana buy and so because of how original it is. Ni ba bi e free ayeba. Uba Aboswakan man for beti matwedi, but not Mr. Chumasi. Our run Vineyard Auto Plus Company Limited. Abuja the company ni very simple. Car parts bi a upe bi obenye bi amano. Say engine. Car rubber kra na upe obenye bi amano. Dashboard, interiors, whatever. Car no it doesn't matter. Say Toyota, say Range Rover, say whatever. Abusia upe bi nko ade a obenye bi amano.
Pass bia no. I don't want to wear the engines, cars, American cars, oil, lubricants, beer, we have
my year advert, Stephen Edikia Baha. Me what Ghana area I'm saying, I send me a bar number, Henny, of course, and I was young buyer. God Almighty. Everything be a UPBR. Fat car, dear. From Mr. Chumasi, I was a number, see who's screen this one. Obey me up, woman, so I can be simple cry.